Hello friends, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to present money and banking. But before that, if you didn't subscribe my channel, please subscribe. Let's get started. Money. Money may be defined as anything which is generally acceptable as a medium of exchange and at the same time acts as a measure, store of value and standard of deferred payment. Uses or function of money. A medium of exchange, a measure of value, a store of value, the basis of credit, a unit of account. A medium of exchange. Economic exchanges without the mediation of money are referred to as barter exchanges. However, they presume the rather improbable double coincidence of wants. Consider, for example, an individual who has a surplus of rice, which she wishes to exchange for clothing. If she is not lucky enough, she may not be able to find another person who has the diametrically opposite demand for rice, with a surplus of clothing to offer in exchange. The search cost may become prohibitive as the number of individuals increases. Thus, to smoothen the transaction, an intermediate good is necessary which is acceptable to both parties. Such a good is called money, a measure of value. Under the barter system, it is very difficult to measure the value of goods. For example, a horse may be valued as worth 5 cows or 100 quintals of wheat, or a Maruti car may be equivalent to 10 two-wheelers. Thus, one of the disadvantages of the barter system is that any commodity or service has a series of exchange values. Money is the measuring rod of everything. By acting as a common denominator, it permits everything to be priced, that is, valued in terms of money. Thus, people are enabled to compare different prices, thus see the relative values of different goods and services. A store of value. A major disadvantage of using commodities such as wheat or salt or even animals like horses or cows as money is that after a time they deteriorate and lose economic values. They are thus not at all satisfactory as a means of storing wealth. To realize the problems of saving in a barter economy, let us consider a farmer. He wanted to save some wheat each week for future consumption. But this would be of no use to him in his old age because the savings would have gone off. It is quite obvious that money can only act effectively as a store of value if its own value is stable. For example, most people feel that their savings would become worthless very soon. They would spend them at once and save nothing. For the last few years, the value or the purchasing power of money has been failing in India. Yet, in the short run, for day to day purposes, money has sufficient stability of value to serve quite well as a store of value. The basis of credit. Money facilitates loan. Borrowers can use money to obtain goods and services when they are needed most. A newly married couple, for example, would need a lot of money to completely furnish a house at once. They are not required to wait for, say, 10 years so as to be able to save enough money to buy costly items like cars, refrigerator, TV sets, etc. A unit of account. An attribute of money is that it is issued as a unit of account. The implication is that money is used to measure and record financial transactions as also the value of goods or services produced in a country over time. The money value of goods and services produced in an economy in an accounting year is called gross national product. According to J.R. Hicks, gross national product is a collection of goods and services reduced to a common basis by being measured in terms of money. Cashless society. A cashless society describes an economic state whereby financial transactions are not connected with money in the form of physical banknotes or coins, but rather through the transfer of digital information, usually an electronic representation of money between the transacting parties. In India, government has been consistently investing in various reforms for greater financial inclusion. During the last few years, initiatives such as Jan Dhan accounts, Aadhaar, enabled payment system, wallets, national financial switch, and other have strengthened the government resolve to go cashless. Today, financial inclusion is seen as a realistic dream because of mobile and smartphone penetration across the country. Demand for money. The demand for money tells us what makes people desire a certain amount of money. Since money is required to conduct transactions, the value of transaction will determine the money people will want to keep. The larger is the quantum of transaction to be made, the larger is the quantity of money demanded. Since the quantum of transaction to be made depends on income, it should be clear that rise in income will lead to rise in demand for money. Also, when people keep their savings in the form of money rather than putting it in a bank which gives them interest. How much money people keep also depends on the rate of interest. Specifically, when interest rates go up, people become less interested in holding money, since holding money amounts to holding less of interest earning deposits and thus less interest receives. Therefore, at higher interest rates, money demanded comes down. Money supply. It refers to the total stock of money held by public at a particular point of time in an economy. It is a stock concept because it is measured at a particular point of time. Components of money supply. Currency held by the public. Demand deposit of the public with the commercial banks. Basic measures of money supply most liquid form. M1 is equal to currency held by the public plus net demand deposit with commercial banks. Currency and coins with public. It consists of paper notes and coins held by the public that can be legally used to make payments of debt or other obligations. Demand deposits of commercial banks. Demand deposits are the deposits of commercial banks from which money can be withdrawn or demand by the depositor using check. Other than demand deposit, there are time deposits which have a fixed term or maturity period after which they can be withdrawn. For example, fixed deposit. The currency issued by the central bank can be held by the public or by the commercial banks and is called the high powered money or reserve money or monetary base. Demand deposits are created by the commercial banks or called bank money. Banking. A bank is a financial institution that accepts deposit from the public and creates a demand deposit, making loans. Lending activities can be performed either directly or indirectly through capital markets. All banks are financial institutions, but all financial institutions are not banks. Central bank, it is an apex body that controls, operates, regulates and directs the entire banking and monetary structure of the country. For example, RBI, Reserve Bank of India. Commercial bank. Commercial bank is an institution which performs the function of accepting checkable deposit and providing loans and making investment with the aim of earning profits and has the power to create money using demand deposits. For example, Punjab National Bank, Canara Bank, etc. Functions of Central Bank. Currency Authority, Bank of Issue. Central Bank has the sole authority for issue of currency in the country. In India, RBI has the sole right of issuing paper currency notes, except 1 rupee note and coins which are issued by Ministry of Finance. Withdrawn and putting currency into circulation is also the responsibility of RBI. All the currency issued by the RBI is its monetary liability, like central bank is obliged to back the currency with assets of equal value. Advantages of these functions are it leads to uniformity in note circulation. It gives the central bank power to influence money supply and ensures public faith in the currency system. It enables the government to have supervision and control over the central bank with respect to issue of notes. It helps in stabilizing the internal and external value of currency. Banker to the government. RBI acts as a banker, agent, and financial advisor to the central and state government. As a banker, it carries out all banking business of the government. Government maintains its cash balance in the current account with RBI. RBI accepts receipts and make payments on behalf of the government and carries out other banking operations for the government. The central bank also provides short-term credit to the government so that the government can meet any shortfalls in receipts over disbursements. The government carries on short-term borrowings by selling ad hoc treasury bills to the central bank. As an agent, the central bank also has the responsibility of managing the public debt. This means that the central bank has to manage all new issues of government loans. As a financial advisor, the central bank advises the government from time to time on economic, financial, and monetary matters. Bankers bank and supervisor. As a banker to the bank, the central bank functions in four respects. Custodian of cash reserves. Commercial banks are required to keep a certain percentage of their deposits with the central bank. In this way, the central bank acts as a custodian of cash reserves of commercial banks. Central bank is the lender of the last resort. When commercial banks fail to meet their financial requirements from other sources, they approach the central bank to give loans and advances as the lender of last resort. The central bank helps them through discounting approved securities and bills of exchange. Clearing house function. All commercial banks have their accounts with the central bank. Therefore, the central bank can easily settle claims of various commercial banks against each other by making debt and credit entries in their accounts. Central bank as a supervisor supervises, regulates, and controls the activities of commercial banks. The regulation of banks may be related to their licensing, branch expansion, and mergers of banks. The control is exercised by periodic inspection of banks and the returns filed by them. Custodian of foreign exchange reserves. The central bank acts as the custodian of the country's stock of gold and reserves of foreign exchange. This function enables the central bank to exercise a reasonable control on foreign exchange, as all foreign exchange transactions must be routed through RBI. It helps the banks in stabilizing the external value of currency and pursuing a coordinated policy toward the balance of payment situation in the country. Control of money supply and credit. Central bank controls money supply by using various quantitative and qualitative instruments. Difference between central bank and commercial bank. Central bank is an apex body that controls, operates, regulates, and directs the entire banking and monetary structure of the country. Whereas commercial bank is an institution which performs the function of accepting deposits and providing loans and making investment with the aim of earning profits. Central bank is owned and governed by the government, whereas commercial bank can be owned and governed by the government or the private sector. Central bank operates for public welfare without profit motive. Commercial bank aims to maximize profits. Central bank does not do ordinary banking business with general public but only with the government. Whereas commercial bank does ordinary banking business with general public. Central bank has the sole authority of the printing new currency, whereas commercial bank has a role of credit creation. Central bank acts as a banker to the government, whereas commercial bank has no such powers. That's all for today. In my next video, we will see further topic of this chapter. Don't forget to give your valuable comments. Thank you.